Good morning, everyone. I got an email this morning, and it is from Nina Patel at SPLC Action Fund, and she's talking about a ninth grader in Louisiana who is going to be moved from a juvenile detention center to Angola Penitentiary, which is, in my opinion, and lots of people's opinions, the most vicious. It has a reputation of being one of the most vicious prisons in the United States. That prison is on what used to be a slave plantation. And if you go and look it up online, you'll see that the prisoners there, they work in the fields all day long. And, there's guys on horses. It looks like it's back in the slavery days if you look at videos of that prison. And no, I'm not a criminal sympathizer. If you do something wrong, then you have to pay for it, right? Especially murderers and rapists, right? People like that. I don't think they should have it easy at all. But what I'm talking about here are children. Non-violent offending children, non-violent offenders, like a kid who's gotten into trouble, did something, but they were not violent in their transgression, right? So why is it that a non-violent child should be worried about going to an adult prison in the state of Louisiana? Anyway, let me read this letter that I got from this person that I do not know, from the SPLC. I don't even know what that means, but here we go. It says, Jessica, last year, the governor of Louisiana moved incarcerated juveniles from youth secure care centers to a maximum security adult prison known for its human rights abuses, Angola Penitentiary. And you guys, the governor here in Louisiana is so-called Democrat, right? And look at what is going on with the children, according to this woman in her email. It is unacceptable to place youth in this setting. Look at the terrified declaration of a ninth grader in Louisiana's juvenile system about the protest of transfer to Angola Adult State Penitentiary. Before I share the remainder of his story with you, please read and forward. She wants me to forward these reports on our misguided, punitive approach to youth justice, tragically epitomized in the Louisiana governor's decision to move youth to Angola. So this is the little boy's declaration. It says I, and his name is redacted, so we don't know his name. I blank declare the following to be true to the best of my knowledge. Number 1, I am 17 years old and am making this declaration of my own free will. Everything in this declaration is based on my personal knowledge. Number 2, I normally reside in Iberia Parish, Louisiana with my mother, and his mother's name is in here, Molly Smith, and my siblings. Number 3, I'm currently in the custody of the state of Louisiana's Office of Juvenile Justice as the result of delinquency dispositions in juvenile court. And number 4, I have been in the Office of Juvenile Justice custody since or on about May of 2021. And it cuts off right there. So threatened, this is the continuance of the letter that I got in my email today from someone that I do not know, but It's legitimate, okay, because I checked it. Threatening to transfer a child in need of support and services to a dangerous maximum security adult prison like Angola Penitentiary represents a complete failure by the state of Louisiana to provide rehabilitation to children. When faced with the prospect of being transferred from a juvenile secure care facility to an adult maximum security prison, this ninth grader wrote in his declaration to the judge, this is a quote from the little boy from his declaration, "I am terrified of being moved to Angola. I do not believe I have done anything to deserve that. I am worried about not being able to talk to my mom as frequently or at all. I am worried also I will lose access to school and books for recreational reading at Angola. I do not believe we will have access to the same level of treatment." And then here goes her letter. "I am sad to tell you that his fears were well justified. Built on a former slave plantation, Angola has become notorious for human rights abuses. Incarcerating young people in the nation's largest maximum security prison is simply wrong and underscores the failures of a system that punishes youth instead of rehabilitating them. By reading our report, you will learn a few of the major reasons that our juvenile justice system is skewed toward punitive justice and what we can do about it. One thing you will learn in the report is that the adults in Louisiana are failing children." Well, this is my opinion, not just in Louisiana, in this entire country. Children are being failed in more ways than just one. Okay, they're being failed like never before. And I'm in my 40s, closer to my 50s now, and this is my opinion, a lot of the women, my age, I think that our age is where we dropped the ball and didn't do our due diligence. I don't have children, but I'm throwing myself in there too, to try to keep kids away from really bad influences like the music that's out there and all of this crazy stuff, this immorality that is plaguing this country more than any other country. And that's my opinion. Back to the report. The disproportionate rate at which Black youth are suspended or expelled from school, especially in Louisiana, creates the school to prison pipeline. And once they are in that pipeline, Black youth are less likely to get access to existing diversion programs that are rehabilitative. Imprisoned youth face a higher risk of physical and sexual assault. And research shows that people imprisoned as youths are more likely to get stuck in a lifelong cycle of incarceration. Yes, I mean, that's true. How many people think that isn't true? For instance, and before I say this, I'm not a racist. So, as an example, do you guys remember Ethan Couch? He was the person that they deemed affluenza teen. He was driving under the influence, and I think it was in Texas, and he killed 4 people while driving drunk. And a psychologist during trial suggested that he grew up with too much money. He was so rich that it left him with a psychological affliction that he couldn't tell right from wrong. And he and his mother fled to Mexico so that he wouldn't have to serve jail time. But they got them. He served 720 days in a Texas jail, and he was released before his 21st birthday. And there's another example. So the second example, do you guys remember, I think his name is Christopher Belter. Let me pull up an article so that I don't mess it up. So the New York Times: judge spares man in teen RAPE case. Incarceration isn't appropriate. That's according to the judge. The man, Christopher Belter, had pleaded guilty in the sexual assaults of 4 teens. 4, you guys. He faced 8 years in prison, but a judge sentenced him to probation instead. Would you guys consider both of those cases violent? Yeah. Those 2 examples, they need to be in prison. But children who are not, in 17, you're still a child, who are not committing violent offenses should not be put into a prison, a maximum security prison, where there are pedophiles in there and there are disgusting men who will be salivating to destroy these little children's lives. Because once they are assaulted in there and violated, they will never ever be the same again. So this is disgusting. What if this article is true? It's disgusting what is being done. So those are the differences, you guys. And I'm not saying that because I know some Caucasian young men who have been sent up the road just like black kids, but they were poor. And they got sent up the road because they did not have the affluenza problem that this rich white kid had. And this guy, Christopher Belter, one girl was 16 when he violated her, according to court documents. He was a teenager too, a student at an elite private boys' school whose family's Western New York home was known as a party house where teens gathered to consume liquor, marijuana, and Adderall. So this happened in 2018, and they're accusing him of doing this to 4 different children, okay? But he didn't get sentenced. So anyway, those are the differences, and you guys know it's true. But I don't care what the race is. Children should not be put with grown men. No. Oh my gosh, it is heartbreaking what is going on in this country, in this world. It is true, you guys. The devil is after the children. And guess what? Some parents are just handing their children over to all of the immorality and depravity. Because guess what? Those parents are indulging in a lot of the same things. And we all sin. We really, every last one of us sins. But it is a heavy sin when you don't protect children. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about these children deserve to be rehabilitated. They're non-violent, right? They deserve to be rehabilitated. They deserve to have a chance to become normal, functioning adults and not be thrown in to a damn cage with violent, grown men who are going to be salivating when they see these young boys walking through the corridors as you see on TV. And then they will be changed for the rest of their lives. I don't think anybody would ever get over what happens to them in those prisons. Grown men come out and take their own lives because of things that happened to them while they were incarcerated, that they can't get out of their heads. We have to protect the children, you guys. God help us all. Let's talk about this in the comments. Because you know what? If you're black or if you're poor, doesn't matter what color your skin is. They don't give a damn about any of us. If you're poor, if you're not rich, if you're not one of the elite, you don't matter to them. Stay prayed up, you guys. Point your kids in the right direction and make sure they stay on that road. God gave them to you, and it is your responsibility. So don't let them fall, don't let them fail, and don't let them be taken by the damn devil in one of these prisons out there. Let's talk about it in the comments. Hey, you guys, do me a favor. Click subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like or dislike, thumbs up, thumbs down the video, depending on how you feel about it. And share it, please, so that my little channel can grow. Thank you so much.